Longevity researchers have found that specific habits practiced in the first hour of the morning strongly predict mobility at age 80. For many, the first 30 minutes of the day follow a familiar, quiet pattern: waking up, checking the phone, and having coffee with toast. While this routine seems restorative, the body actually remains in a prolonged fasting state during these early hours, a period where internal systems may prioritize immediate energy needs over the maintenance of muscle tissue. This process is known as sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass that occurs when the body's rate of breakdown exceeds its ability to rebuild. However, clinical data suggests that specific 30-second adjustments to this morning window can signal the body to move out of this breakdown phase and into a repair state. Addressing sarcopenia effectively requires a highly coordinated approach across 3 systems: hormonal, cellular, and nutritional, all within the first hour of waking. The way we wake up often triggers a natural rise in stress, whether through a loud alarm or immediate digital distractions. This timeline highlights the correlation between cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, and muscle retention. When cortisol levels spike and remain elevated in the morning, the hormone signals the body to catabolize, or break down, muscle tissue for fuel. Neuroscientists at Stanford University have studied specific protocols to mitigate this hormonal response upon waking. Their research shows that 5 minutes of intentional, slow breathing can lower cortisol levels by approximately 25%. Cortisol isn't the only factor. Data from the National Institute on Aging suggests that morning social isolation also plays a role in physical decline. A brief 3-minute social interaction, even a short phone call, triggers the release of oxytocin, which helps regulate the stress response and is associated with a 33% lower risk of sarcopenia. Integrating these 2 habits, intentional breathing and social connection, establishes a stable hormonal environment for muscle cells before the day's physical demands begin. After 8 hours without fluids, the body is in a state of mild dehydration. This affects the nervous system, often resulting in slower muscle contractions and decreased balance. Research by the National Institute on Aging confirms that plain water often isn't enough to restore this balance. This split screen shows how nerve impulses fire more rapidly when key minerals are present to facilitate electrical signals. Adding a pinch of sea salt and lemon to your morning water provides the electrolytes necessary to increase muscle response time by 35%. Once hydrated, external signals become the next priority. Researchers at Harvard Medical School have identified morning light as a critical regulator of muscle health. 15 minutes of direct sunlight exposure early in the day stimulates the production of vitamin D, a nutrient shown to reduce the risk of fractures by 40%. The cellular system also requires a mechanical signal. Performing 5 minutes of light resistance, such as squats or pushing against a wall, within 30 minutes of waking triggers the body to prioritize muscle maintenance. The National Institute on Aging found that this early movement can increase muscle protein synthesis by more than 40%. By combining electrolytes, direct morning sunlight, and light resistance, you provide the cellular signals necessary to stabilize the body and initiate repair. Traditional morning staples like coffee and toast lack the specific nutrients required to halt the overnight muscle breakdown process. Harvard research indicates that failing to consume protein in the morning extends the fasting state, which can increase muscle loss by 30%. Reversing this requires consuming 25 to 30 grams of protein, such as eggs or Greek yogurt, immediately upon waking. Adding omega-3 fatty acids from walnuts or salmon further supports this process by reducing systemic inflammation in muscle tissue by 45%. Muscle health is also dependent on the connective tissues that support them. Gerontologists at Johns Hopkins have focused on the role of collagen in maintaining joint and tendon elasticity. 1 cup of bone broth or chicken feet broth provides the specific amino acids required to repair these tissues and reduce morning stiffness. The final nutritional adjustment involves a simple swap for the traditional morning caffeine source. Teas rich in leucine, such as matcha and spirulina, provide a 42% greater chance of preserving lean muscle mass compared to coffee alone. While adopting every habit is not necessary for progress, beginning with just 2 or 3 of these changes provides the biological signals needed to maintain strength and mobility for years to come.